Legacy, 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 legacy. Black excellence, baby. You gonna let them see.
Go ahead, baby.
Legacy, legacy, legacy.
Well, I gotta start.
Black excellence.
You know you want to talk.
My name is Jay Morrison. Actually, I'm just kidding. My name is Ernestine Johnson. I am an actress, a poet, a business owner, and I am the woman to this handsome, talented, smart man next to me, Mr. Jay Morrison. I am on a 25-city tour with Jay, and I offer my poetic services to the corner class tour that we're on. I'm a full-time actress, and I own a concierge company in which I am a personal shopper and full-time concierge service to some really, really amazing clients.
Cool. And I am Jay Morrison, Mr. Real Estate, also known as Young Malcolm, and I am a serial entrepreneur, businessman, real estate developer, TV personality, author, and what people call an activist, which I just call being a man.
Yeah.
But I'm the founder of the Jay Morrison Academy and CEO of the Tulsa Real Estate Fund, a Regulation A Tier 2 crowd fund, and I am on tour on our Buy Back the Block corner class tour with my queen and our Jay Morrison Academy team, where we're teaching real estate, financial literacy, and entrepreneurship on the street corners and inner cities throughout America. So our goal, and my goal specifically now, she has to do it too, which she loves to do, is to repair our people, repair our community, and do our contribution, do our part in contributing to, our.
The Buy Back the Block tour. Can you tell me a little bit more about it and what's your mission in regards to repairing the Black community?
Yes, we can.
All right, so the Buy Back the Block tour, it started just for us understanding that, when rappers Rick Ross, 2 Chainz, Gucci Mane, and others put a song out called Buy Back the Block, a lot of people gravitated towards it and tagged me in it, being that I've been preaching that message for several years now. But I thought it was really important to not just say buy back the block, but also give us instructions on how do you buy back the block, right? So it sounds cool to say it, but how do you do it? How do you own your first home? How do you start your LLC? How do you invest in real estate? How do you understand credit and leveraging credit? And so we go to the corners, and we realized just doing it online or having it at conference halls or in hotels wasn't going to be good enough. For many of our people who want to buy back the block and who come through adversity through our community, we want to reach them right where they're at. So we brought our message right to the corner with a flip chart, with a whiteboard, teaching these topics on financial literacy, wealth building, and how to acquire real estate. We teach that every week in a different city every week now, and we're 17 cities in. And that's all part of the economic component of repairing our community. But repair for us is economic, it's social, it's political as well, and I'm sure Queen's going to talk about it. And it starts with at the home, and it starts within the family, and it starts with self-love.
So when Jay created the Buy Back the Block tour last year, he had me at the start of this tour this year, he had me come offer my poetry, and I said, this is more than just financial literacy, this is more than just real estate, this is about Black love, this is about self-love and self-awareness. So me adding the poetry element, for me, it's all about, before we can even start to learn financial literacy, to learn how to invest and learn how to build wealth, we have to know who we are first, and we have to love ourselves, and we have to believe in ourselves. So I offer that element to the tour, just so we can first be strong in who we are first, before we even begin to dive into any other businesses.
And Jay, I pose this question to you. What made you create the Jay and A Academy?
Yeah, so 4 years ago, I created the Jay Morrison Academy because the information that I was giving in regards to financial literacy, wealth building through real estate and entrepreneurship was going viral. And my story coming from poverty, going through prison, being a former high school dropout, all those things were resonating within the urban community and within hip hop culture, and my Breakfast Club interview and World Star Hip Hop videos. And so many people were asking me to mentor them or be my apprentice. And I couldn't mentor everybody, but I wanted to give everybody the game that changed my life. Mm-hmm. And so I felt the most sophisticated and civilized and effective way to do that would be to start my own school. And we lack institutions and we lack schools in our community that teach us the skills that we need in order to be successful. So as a former 3-time felon, and as someone who came out of prison and had to figure out his way, I realized that I wasn't so employable. And so I had to employ myself. I had to create my own jobs. And so I wanted to give back the game in which I learned how to create a empire and be in a position where I'm managing over 10 million in assets. I want to be able to give that game back to the everyday person who came from what I come from, or who can relate. Who may not have the life experiences I have, but who want to learn it, whether they coming from being a college graduate or college dropout, or a single mom, or a military veteran retiree, or no matter what you come from, we all, with learning new strategies, with learning a new game, or being financially lit or financially illiterate, it opens doors for you to be able to understand money better, how to invest money, and how to make money for you. And that's the tricks to becoming wealthy. And so I want to play my part in giving that back. And now, in the beginning of creating this legacy for myself, we've created our school, have had over 7,000 students enrolled between our online campus and our Atlanta campus. And we're looking to just take it to the next level year after year.
What would you say inspired you? What got you into the lane to be a spoken word
poetry?
artist?
So I always tell the story, I'll never forget. My very first poem was a haiku, and I wrote it in the 5th grade, and we had a contest. Whoever wrote the best haiku got like this pencil box, and the pencil box had like stickers and pens and pencils and all type of cool erasers, and it was probably a bunch of Lisa Frank stuff that was super popular in the 90s. So I said I wanted to win that pencil box, so I had to go home and I had to study what a haiku was, and I ended up winning. I won this pencil box, and that is when I fell in love with the process of creative writing and descriptive writing. So I've been doing it now for, how old am I?
You're old.
I've been doing it now for 20 years, professionally and just socially. I absolutely love it. I absolutely love it. I was actually in the studio last night, and I had to create yesterday. In my creative process, I was just like, wow, I love this form of expression. I love writing.
Is there any current projects you're currently working on as an actress?
What am I working on right now? As an actress, you're always working on something because you're always auditioning. Every single week, you're auditioning. I think I just had this past month alone, I think I had 19 auditions. So you're always working on something, and you're creating in the process because you're doing a lot of waiting. So right now, actually, I am in the process of shopping my own sitcom with my producing partners. We recreated a show based off a really popular 90s show. So we're shopping that right now and always actively auditioning.
You want to talk about this week? You have a show dropping this week on TV One?
Oh, I do. I forgot. I always forget. See, thanks, babe, for having my back. I actually have a movie coming out starring Nicole Ari Parker and Boris Kojo called Downsized. It will be airing on TV One. I thought it would be this week, but it actually airs September 16th. So be sure to check into TV One and watch me in Downsized.
And you want to talk about your release that just happened a few weeks ago with Digital Lives Matter?
We'll just let Jay tell you what I have going on in my life because I clearly forget. Yes, I actually am starring my first lead role in a movie called Digital Lives Matter, starring myself, DC Youngfly, Manuel Hudson, directed by Terry J. Vaughn, who you all know and love, and it's actually her directorial debut. It is playing on the UMC network, and it will also be playing on the BET network all of October. So tune into BET all of October and watch me in Digital Lives Matter. I also produce a show for the Jay Morrison Academy called Financially Lit that we do every week in every city that we're in, where Jay goes around and asks random strangers how financially lit they are so we can raise awareness for, our people to become more financially literate.
Ms. Johnson, will you ever come out with a poem book? Just a book full of poems?
Yes, I'm actually in the process of working on that right now as we speak. My poetry book is coming together. It's going to be just a collection of my top poems. Most of my poems that have went viral, to be a collection of those works.
Mr. Morrison, how did you create the Tulsa Real Estate Fund?
I decided to create the Tulsa Fund. It's been like a several-year project. Back in 2007, I wanted to start my own hard money company where we lend money for financing for redevelopment. I noticed that mostly it were European American or Jewish companies or non-black companies were lending all the money, and so I wanted to be in position for us to be able to lend money. Got distracted because I was making so much money and I never followed through with that vision and idea. And then fast forward to 2013, 2014, or even 2015, years later, when the Freddie Gray uprising happened in Baltimore, I was a part of those protests and that uprising, and people were asking for a solution for our community after Freddie Gray and rebuilding our community. And I was like, they said they wanted to build a Black Wall Street. And if you're not familiar with Black Wall Street, it was the most prolific and successful black community in America. It was in the 1920s that we owned over 36 blocks, 36 square blocks of houses and businesses, over 600 businesses in the Tulsa, Oklahoma community. And it was massacred and burnt down in 1921. And so we want to rebuild something like that. I started to think about the idea I had for banking and financing and lending, and how they come together where we as a community could raise money together to then finance our own projects. And so I did hella research the last couple years, pulled the legal team together, a compliance team together, a real estate team together, a business team together, and have over a dozen staff members working with me where we're launching the Tulsa Real Estate Crowd Fund, which is the first ever 100% black owner operated real estate crowd fund. The real estate fund allows everyone to be able to invest together and be equity partners and owners of those investments together. So I noticed a big issue in our community where we will support a cause and we'll support a charismatic leader, but a lot of times that support, those donations or those monies are misappropriated, and there's no accountability. There's no authenticity or transparency. So a lot of times we'll support someone who has a great GoFundMe, or we'll put the money in the collection plate, but we never really know where that money goes, nor do we get any kind of return on that investment. And so I want to do something different than a collection plate or a GoFundMe where you just support from your heart. But I want you to support from your heart, but also make money too. So the Tulsa Real Estate Fund, it allows us to support buying our blocks back, support us buying our own schools, buying our own hospitals, buying our own hotels, buying our own apartment buildings, buying our own farmland. But now you as an investor can invest as little as $500, but be an owner in that project and receive an 8% preferred return and your prorated share of the profits. So to do something that sophisticated and civilized and effective was my motivation, and to give our people a vehicle they can trust, and that is authentic and transparent, and where you can see your account and see where your money is going and get a return on your money, but can look at a hotel as a single mom and say, hey, we own part of that hotel. Or as a retiree or someone coming out of the street, where you could put in anywhere from $500 to $50 million and be a owner participant in our community development. So giving us a real vehicle we can rely on and trust to rebuild our communities and pool our dollars together, how we all said we want to do, pull our resources together, use our 1.3 million in spending power, 1.3 trillion in spending power effectively. All of that was my motivation for starting the Tulsa Real Estate Fund, giving us the vehicle that we need.
And with recent events going on, happening, especially in with Hurricane Harvey in Houston, how can we as a collective help them out with the Tulsa Real Estate Fund?
Well, one thing we know we can do with the Tulsa Real Estate Fund, as we'll be launching in the next 60 days, is that with natural disasters like Hurricane Harvey, many people don't know that people are preying on the poor right now in Houston and surrounding areas, trying to buy up Hurricane Harvey blighted properties for pennies on the dollar. They're already looking to gentrify those neighborhoods, and especially the homes that were already vacant prior to Harvey. They're already buying those properties up. FEMA is requiring a credit check in order to give relief aid. And so with the Tulsa Real Estate Fund, it gives us an opportunity to put in money together, and now we can go in as a collective and go buy up areas like Houston or areas where they want to gentrify, and we can stop or reverse gentrification, where we can still maintain control, power, ownership of our own community and do it together. So the Tulsa Real Estate Fund allows us to pull our money together, where it's not just one big burden on one person, where we all can share that burden in that investment and share the profits in that investment and go build and maintain control of our communities.
What's your inspiration to inspire these folks, in a sense?
Well, I think it's super important for us as a people to see healthy black relationships. And there's so many pictures out there painting of unhealthy relationships, unhealthy men, unhealthy women. And I think for me and what Jay and I constantly work on is us just really displaying a healthy relationship where we communicate, where we're honest, where we put each other on a pedestal, we treat each other like royalty. He calls me queen every day, I call him king every day, and we really want to push that message onto our community, because I believe that how to repair the black family is to first repair the relationship between the black man and the black woman. And that's what we constantly work on every single day. And it's a journey, and it's hard, but we are willing to put in that work.
Yeah. And as a black man, I know how hard it is to be a good black man. Like, we struggle with it, and a lot of why we struggle with it is because the culture that's been created and the culture that's been passed down to us. Many of the fathers that we've seen and grandfathers that we've seen, very few of them had healthy relationships. I can't speak to too many healthy relationships in my whole family structure, my whole family tree. There's a lot of broken homes, stepfathers, stepmothers, abuse and divorce and baby mamas and baby daddies and all that kind of stuff. So
A lot of chaos,
yes,
a lot of drama.
a lot of chaos, a lot of drama, and it's not our fault. It's because our former slave masters and their children, they put the breaking up of our homes as a priority, and there is not something that we on these American shores have had stable family environments, right? Just from our inception, 450 years of it, and so and then not to mention within music and all the misogyny and the male chauvinism
and not to mention that historically, systematically, the black woman has always been pinned against the black man. And for me as a black woman, I think it's my job and my pleasure actually to uplift the black man and let the black man know that I'm here to support you and I'm behind you 100%.
Right, and I just think that, also within pop culture, which we call pimp culture, where it became cool to call women bitches and to pimp women and to play women and have 7 women, and you know what I mean, that whole aura, that made you a cool guy, right? Like how many women you had, or how many pretty women you had, or how many of this. So to reverse all of that and then focus on one woman, that's probably why the reason why we poor now is that, as men, we spreading our energy around instead of owning 7 businesses, you got 7 women trying to take care of 7 women. That's your problem, right? So I think just for me, and I used to be like that. So to reverse and to grow and evolve as a person, as a man, so I can live it and talk it, and now to focus my energy and my attention and my love on one woman and one relationship. It's great to be able to show other young men and old men and just men in general, like what that looks like. And I'm not perfect, but I'm here.
By no means are we perfect. Are we the perfect relationship or the perfect couple? But what we are willing to do is to try to change the narrative and change the structure of what we've seen so far historically. Right,
and give forth a perfect effort. Really, it's like we really give effort into our relationship, and and we put God into our relationship.
Yep.
And so it's rooted in the right ways. It's not rooted just on being cute or being physical or sexual and all that. It's rooted really in substance. I think that's
purpose.
I think it's probably one of the biggest things with our relationship is that we approach it the right way, and I think that's what we want to encourage everyone else to do. Is if you're looking at a partner, just don't look at a partner just based on looks or lust or physical attraction.
Or what they have.
Right. Like don't breed and don't mate for that. Like we keep making pretty babies, but we ain't making, Like we're not making healthy homes and smart babies. Like breed and mate with someone and look for someone that actually has some stuff and some purpose.
That pours into you.
Yeah.
And that uplifts you and that helps you become the best version
of
yourself.
Just try it one time. You might like it.
This is going to be the final question because I don't want to take too much of your time. What is the one last thing you would like to tell our people, the black community, especially in these trying times? What is your word of encouragement that you would like to tell them?
Words of encouragement.
I'll start. I'll let Queen finish. Instantly, my words of encouragement are that I love you and that we love you. Like there are people out there that love our people unapologetically. And we are 2 of them. Facts. Super facts. And another thing I want to say is that there is no one, because even God himself said faith without works is dead. There's no one coming down to sprinkle fairy dust and repair dust on black people. The only way that we're going to get out of the condition that other people put us in is that we intentionally go repair ourselves. We are the only people that have went through genocide, dehumanization, deculturalization, and everything else that we have been through historically and factually, who have never received any intentional repair, restoration, redress, reparation, or any of that. And so the only way we're going to get ahead, because we've been given this uneven playing field, this uneven chessboard, the only way we're going to get ahead is that we have to be intentional. Just as intentional they were about breaking us down and breaking our families and just breaking our morale, we have to be that intentional about repairing ourselves, repairing our family, repairing our morale, repairing our spirituality, and everything else. So, we have to be that intentional. I want to encourage all of you to get my book, The Solution, where I wrote out a solution for our unity, justice, and repair, because that's going to be very important for us to get to the next level.
And just to piggyback off what Jay said, I think my number one advice to anybody would be is you are enough. Those simple words. And I had those words written on my mirror just to send myself that daily affirmation, because sometimes we don't think we're enough. We don't think we're deserving. We don't think we're even enough to be repaired, or we deserve to be treated equally, or whatever the case may be. You are enough. You are enough to be who you want to be. You're strong enough. You're fearless enough. You're smart enough. And those words just always resonated with me because I see so many of our people who don't think they are enough, who don't believe in themselves, who don't believe in their dreams, and don't believe they're just as good as the next person. So tell yourself every day that you are enough. Look yourself in the mirror and tell yourself you are enough.
And if you're Queen Betty, you're more than enough.
Oh, thanks, babe.
Thank you so much, folks. I truly, truly appreciate y'all taking the time to give us this interview.
Okay.
Black excellence, baby. You gonna let them
Yep.
see. Legacy, 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 legacy. Black excellency.
Please keep up with me on social media, on my Instagram page, Ernestine.Johnson, my Facebook, Ernestine Yvette Johnson, my website, ErnestineJohnson.com, and follow me on Twitter too, on the scene.
Legacy, legacy.
And you guys can find me at jaymorrison.net. You can visit our school where a lot of our lectures and other initiatives happen at jaymorrisonacademy.com. And you'll find me on Instagram at Mr. Jay Morrison. Or just Google me, baby.
And subscribe to our YouTube pages, Mr. Real Estate,
Yes, Jay Mr.
and
Real Estate.
Ernestine Johnson.
Yeah,
Go
YouTube's
subscribe.
popping. Yeah. Peace.
Black excellence, baby.